Hello, Sister Goons. My name is Ox, and welcome back to Let's Play Pokemon LeafGreen. So, in today's video, we are not going to be heading towards the Saffron Gym, but instead, we're going to be opening up a pathway, and also backtracking to Viridian City. So, for context, in the last video, I managed to get tea from an old lady in a building, right? Now, the tea is how you unlock access to Saffron City. That's what this one is. The other one was called Celadon. My bad. So, in the original Game Boy games, you could just give them water, soda, or a lemonade, and you'd be good to go. However, in this game, you need to give them the tea specifically. But I also decided to do this I also decided to open the pathway so that I can actually get my bike, because the bike is kind of mandatory for one specific route that I'll be taking way later. But if you have the bike voucher, you can just trade it in at the bike shop in Cerulean City, and you can go from there. Also, you can register it to your plus or to your select button, but that's the only one that you have, unlike future games. But now we're finally in the Pokémon Tower, and we can take on Blue again. So, yeah. We don't take care of Celadon just yet, because I figured I may as well go for my next team member first, I think. So, we have a fight with Blue first, who, as always, leads with his Pidgey line. In this case, it's a Pidgeotto. Really, he's not that difficult if you're doing what I'm doing, which is like grinding for specific levels whenever you can early, so that way you got the good moves, like Thunderbolt, for example. Oh, and he also has a Growlithe by now. It doesn't matter which version of the game you have, he will always have a Growlithe if you picked Charizard. Well, actually, okay. So, Blue likes to switch out his water, grass, and fire Pokemon. If he doesn't have Blastoise, he'll have Gyarados. If he doesn't have Charizard, he will have Arcanine. And if he doesn't have Venusaur, he'll have Execute, which will then become an Executor. But it kind of begs the question where he even got those things, because Execute is only found in the Safari Zone, and Growlithe is a version exclusive, so kind of begs the question, right? But anyway, he also has his Wartortle here, but it's not that big a deal, honestly. Like Thunderbolt with Sparky at this point in the game, boom, done. Dunskish. Though Kadabra is a bit of a troublemaker, because Psychic is still very, very powerful in this particular generation, because while it does have its weaknesses sorted out, that doesn't mean there's any good candidates for it. Like in Kanto, you could maybe go Scyther, but he's a version exclusive, much like Pinsir, and Pinsir would objectively be the better target because of Sword Stance. Plus, the only good bug move here would be Mega Horn, and I don't think any of them learn it. I think only Heracross can learn it, and even then, that's a post-game thing. There are Dark-type moves, but no Dark-type Pokemon, and they're all considered special attacks. for whatever reason. And then you have the Pokemon that are home in the tower, Ghost, which, I mean, really there's only like one Ghost in this region, and it's the Ghastly line. Now, while Ghost does seem like a good counter to Psychic, the problem is that these are Ghost poison. So, a good Psychic attack will also work on them, which is one of the reasons why you can take care of Morty in the Johto games pretty easily. And no, not the Rick and Morty guy. The cool dude from Eckertique City. Oh, and also, I decided to keep this in because, well, I decided to keep the battles in the tower in because, well, I really, it's a short section, so, well, it is kind of short if you know what you're doing, and you're only really here once, but, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, and also, all of these trainers here, the channelers, all they have is the Ghastly line, which are somewhere in the 20s. I don't think they go up to Gengar, but I know that they don't go beyond this. Well, they don't go beyond the Ghastly line. I mean, like, maybe they'll have like 2 or more, but that's really about it. Oh, and speaking of Ghastly, yes, you can find them here in the tower. You can also find Cubone in here too, because well, if you know your Pokemon lore, then you know what's gonna happen at the end of the tower, but I'll say that for later. So to kind of sort of fill in the dead air, I did want to talk about something that I posted about a week ago on Monday. Actually, yeah. This would be a week ago because scheduling stuff. Okay, so a few years ago, I want to say back during 2020, I want to say that. I want to say it was that long ago. I got the idea to essentially to make a cosplay. Now, I know it sounds a little weird, but just hear me out with this one, okay? I got the idea to do a cosplay, but I didn't really know how to go about it. You know, I won't get into specifics about what the character itself is, but I can tell you that as somebody who had no idea how to make a costume, had no idea, beyond a sketching on sketching in a notebook or drawing in a Clip Studio Paint, I had no idea what the hell I was doing, and it's not like I had any connections into the cosplay scene, so I couldn't really do much of anything except plan for ideas that I'd like. And but eventually I decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to sit down, I'm going to use Blender, and I'm going to model parts of this costume. Because there are certain elements that require a 3D printing. And I do have a 3D printer. But I want to save some of this for when I actually do a video on this. And yes, I do want to make a video on this particular project, because because it does mean a lot to me. I think it will be very, very fun to make and to edit, and also kind of share my frustrations about it. And I mean, maybe this costume will finally help me, get some other things in order. but I won't. Like I said, I won't go into detail about what character I am cosplaying or any specific props or whatnot. But I will tell you that it requires a lot of sanding, a lot of 3D printing, some painting, and I'm definitely going to be doing a camera for that. Basically, you're actually going to see my face, which has been a long time coming, unless you've watched some shorts, but no well. So, also that thing. Okay, so going back to the game for just a brief moment, though that glyph in the middle of this room, that is basically a full heal. So you don't have to go back to the Pokemon Center and keep on making your way up and up through the tower in order to get back where you started, right? Now, also, okay, so I probably should mention like why Ghost isn't that great of a type yet. And that's because of the physical special split. So, one, there's not a lot of Ghost Pokemon at this point in time. If you want to count the Ghastly line as three separate as like three separate Pokemon, you can totally do that. But Johto only had one new Ghost, which made 4. Dusk Skull, and Dusclops from Gen 3. So that's 6. 7 for Sableye. Shedinja makes... Damn it, I lost track. But my point is, there wasn't a lot of Ghost types and Ghost type moves, and I don't think many of them were physical attackers, because Ghost is considered a physical move in Gens 2 and 3, which is such a shame, because a Shadow Ball on most special attacking Psychic Pokemon is basically a staple. Because Ghost is weak to itself, because I don't think it wants to be too overpowered, But yeah. Ghost is weak to itself. It's also weak to Dark. But in this generation, every move, even if you think that it's special, it is considered physical. For which is the inverse for Dark, and it's really stupid. I like Shadow Ball on my Psychic types, so that way they got some decent coverage, and I also like Shadow Ball on some other Pokemon that can hit really freaking hard in terms of special attacks if they can learn it. But yeah, there just isn't really much a point in using Ghost types, because one, you don't run into them. Hold on, sorry. Let me take a swig real quick, and then I'll explain. Sorry about that. So, Ghost in... okay. Okay, yeah, I remember now. So, you don't encounter ghosts very often in this game. The tower is pretty much the extent of your ghostly visits. However, there are a handful of suggestions. In the Saffron Gym, there are a couple of channelers, which kind of throw you for a loop, because they got ghosts instead of psychic types. But there's also Agatha in the Elite Four, even though technically she should be considered a poison type trainer because that's what her team is. Though, oh hey, Cubone, my favorite Pokemon ever. And no, I am not going to get into the reasons why. But, trying to think here. So, Agatha we'll get into during the finale because, the final video is, well, the footage for the final video is recorded, but but we're not going to get to that for a while. So, don't worry too much about that. Anyway, so as soon as these wild Pokemon just leave me alone. Seriously, I was like, why are you doing this to me? I'm not even running. We get to the final staircase of the tower. And it's here that we're introduced to the big ghost. If you made it this far, then you cannot continue without the Silph Scope. And hello, Marowak. Oh, and no, you cannot catch this thing. You have to battle it. You have to battle and knock it out. And thankfully, Hypnosis and Dream Eater work very well here. Well, at least for this particular run. So, yeah, a Dream Eater hits very hard if the Pokemon is... Like, see that? Look at that. Look at that. Over half of its health is gone, and I didn't even have to lift... And I didn't have to spam Confusion and wait for this thing to, like, use its Bone Meringue, which is, like, its signature move. And this was considering that I didn't have a Grass or a Water type on my team yet. Actually, I don't get a Grass type for this team, actually. But I did decide to put a Zeno on the back seat because... from here, we just gotta take care of 3 Team Rocket Grunts, and they're pretty easy. They either go down to, well, they either have the Zubat line, Raticate, or some other poison that goes down with Thunderbolt pretty easily. And I also used Thundershock there because I didn't feel like it was worth a Thunderbolt. Though, I don't keep Thundershock around forever. Even though it kind of seems like I do, but just bear with me here, okay? Anyway, so this is the final stretch of the tower. If you manage to get through this point in the game, then congrats. You have officially... then it is pretty much a smooth sailing from here. Oh, and hey, Golbat! I actually hear that he's actually not a bad pick for this game, but I'm gonna level with you. I prefer Crobat, its evolution, because it's a lot faster. I guarantee a hit unless it's a priority move, and well, I'm sorry, but I don't like Golbat's large mouth. It's just freaky. Especially considering that the old sprites of it had a tongue and was salivating. Ugh. But anyway. So yeah, Sparky is pretty much going to take care of rest of the Team Rocket Grunts, but Oh, right. Also, Crobat is not available in Fire Red and Leaf Green until post-game. For whatever reason. I don't ask me why. It's really freaking dumb, especially considering that in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, we could technically get Sinnoh evolutions of Johtomons. Like, technically, like, if you followed stuff for, like, Young Mega, or Apom into Ambipom, and Piloswine into Mamoswine. But, I mean, that's a whole other thing. I'm not gonna get into that. Just move on, Alex. But, okay, so this guy has the most by far with 4 Mons. It shouldn't be that hard, you know? It's like if you manage to get through all this, I mean, like, do you really have much of a problem right now? Although we are not gonna end the video just yet after, well, we're not gonna end after we beat the tower. We have one more thing to do, and then we'll end it. I just need to get through these battles first, and I'm starting to wish that I should have just, that I should have just, skipped all of them, but yeah, it is whatever, you know, it is what it is. Oh, also, just a bit of an unrelated thing. I am working on a script for a game review that I've been meaning to do for a while now. It's just finding the motivation to actually start recording the script and compiling it all together, getting the assets. You know how it goes. It's just I need the script to feel right. I want it to convey my thoughts pretty well. I just want this to be the best I can do, and that I get my point across without sounding like an AVGN clone, you know. But also, I'd be willing to do more game reviews if that particular video does well enough. So, I mean, if you want to know when that comes out, be sure to like and subscribe. I'm teasing. But anyway, so now that we have taken care of the ghosts in Team Rocket over in the tower, Mr. Fuji gives us the Poke Flute, which is an item that you can use in battle to wake up your sleeping Pokemon. It's not bad, honestly. Oh, and I also forgot to edit out this. You freaking idiot, Alex! Come on, you're so focused on what's gonna happen next. Jesus. Anyway, so basically, so as I was saying, the flute is mainly here so that way we can get a certain Pokemon out of the way. And I also decided to go to the shop so I can get a little extra cash so I can restock on a few things if it catch my drift. So, yeah. Oh yeah, and also in the last video, we got the black glasses. Essentially, they're meant to boost up the power of dark type moves, but I honestly would not recommend that. But anyway, so yeah, it turns out I lied. We're not restocking, in fact, because for some reason that shop didn't have any regular Pokeballs. It just had a few. It just had Great Balls. Oh, but I did decide to edit out the trainers, the trainers on this route because, Holy crap, is that freaking, is it redundant? And yep, I am adding Snorlax to my team. Like, Snorlax is a freaking heavyweight champion. Well, I say heavyweight champion. It is an MVP in any Johto run. This thing hits like a truck. It is tanky as shit, slow as hell, but who freaking cares when it can smack you around 6 ways from Sunday and can pretty much eat all of your special attacks. And yes, I said special because this thing is not exactly a physical tank. Like, okay. Now, Snorlax only appears in 2 specific areas. Here and in the route next to Celadon City. Both will have... Now, both are going to have the item known as a P.E.K.K.A. Berry. Basically, if you put it to sleep, it'll eat the berry and it will instantly wake up. Yeah, like that. Now, in terms of moves, Snorlax is going to have Yawn, which will put your Pokemon to sleep. Rest, which will put itself to sleep and also heal it. And for a little bit of defensive options, it'll have for the offensive, it'll have Headbutt, which has a chance to cause you to flinch. And just in case it gets put to sleep, it has Snore. So while it's sleeping, it has some offensive capabilities. But it's also kind of a low catch rate. And I'm just using like regular Pokeballs here just so I can match the rest of my team, you know? Because you can totally just use, well, I think you're kind of encouraged to use Great Balls or maybe Ultra Balls, which you can buy from the Celadon department store. But me being pedantic, I decided to just like go with what my team has, you know? And I'll admit, the Snorlax that we have now is not going to be the one that I end up catching because I had to reset this fight several times in order for it to give me a good ability. And yes, I am that picky. If it's a good ability, I'll take it. If it's not, then I gotta reset. I do this for a lot of Pokemon because I want my team to be the best that I can. Like if it's neutral ability and it doesn't benefit or if it doesn't benefit or de-benefit me, then you know I'll keep that. But if it's an ability that lowers a stat that I actually need, then no. Just just get out of here with that. But yeah, Snorlax is going to be a part of the team. He is going to be mega useful in the battle against Sabrina, which admittedly is not for a while. But I also kind of struggled with the name for a bit because I wanted to name him Choji, as in the Naruto character. Choji is fairly strong for who he is, and relies on his body size in order to fight. So that was my mindset for naming Snorlax like that. Sorry about that. And Bold, I don't think it was. No. Bold was not the nature that I ended up choosing for him. Though I think it only has the ability Thick Fat, which prevents fire and ice. So, yeah, there is that. However, we are going to be seeing a bit more of Snorlax in future videos, but you're not going to be seeing that until, well, I actually don't know when you're going to be seeing it exactly, because I mean, hey, it could be Wednesday, it could be Friday, I don't know, but regardless, though, that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to leave a like, comment down below, and if you're new around here, please subscribe to the channel because we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers, and every little click helps out more than you think. Until next time, LeafGreens, remember, reach for the stars.